Exactly a year ago, I left everything to find ways to live life on my own terms and find peace of my mind. In this video, I wanted to give you a bit more insight of how I came to make this important decision. So, I left my country at the time when I had the best job offer up to date. The beginning abroad was very tough, as I didn't speak any English, so I had to work as a deli assistant in a supermarket, slicing cheese. Years passed, I found myself stuck in that food store, feeling nothing but frustration and shame. My self-esteem and confidence had shrunk to a size of an ant. One good thing, I was picking up the language quite well, but I was still doing a lot of writing in my native language, and most of them writings were full of frustration and emanated poor little me energy. Then in the shop, the internal opportunity to be promoted came up, and I, wanting to get out of the hole, applied for it. On the day of the interview, I started to feel apprehensive. I was so nervous, my hands were sweating, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. It made things even worse when I entered the room and I realized that this was a group interview involving various tasks where the teamwork and leadership skills were tested. To cut the long story short, my heart didn't stop pounding. I suddenly lost any ability to speak English, and all I wanted to do is to disappear from this place and from the world. This was the worst day of my entire life. But was it really? Or was it one of the best things that could ever happen to me? Life is not as it appears. Mostly the biggest downfalls and failures are where the biggest opportunities lie. After a week of living with a feeling of shame and fear of ever opening my mouth and speak in front of people in English, I made the decision to become a better person, to improve all the areas which I didn't like about me and my life, and to face my biggest fears. I read a lot of self-help books and followed techniques they were suggesting. I changed my daily routines completely and improved my physical health and strength. Also, it was interesting that I felt a sudden, strong urge to study a human body, namely anatomy. In a year's time, I could name every single bone and organ of a human body, tell about all the processes and functions of the body, and I could do that all in English. So this transformation that was happening pushed all my boundaries and demanded me to take on a project and prove to myself that I can do it, that I can accomplish whatever I set for myself to do. And that gave such a boost to my confidence and self-esteem. And after that, I felt the need to challenge myself even further. And thought to myself, what was my biggest fear ever? And it wasn't difficult to find the answer. It was attending the job interviews. In other words, putting myself in front of others. So I decided to throw myself right in the middle of the snake hole. The main reason being to train my mind to take control. So I started to drive around the places to apply for care home assistant position, as I thought the medical industry could be the right direction for me, since I was interested in anatomy. And guess what? Despite of not having any medical qualifications, I got a job. From there I continued my growth especially having to work with nasty, big-headed bosses and annoying colleagues, which only helped me to push harder and move forwards. Whilst working there, I finished studies and got qualifications in health and social care, which helped me to find a better paid job in a much professional setting. But despite of me absolutely adoring to work with elderly people, I felt like it's still not my place. The pace was far too slow for me and my personality. Plus, I was surrounded with energy that emanated illness rather than health, and this was against my spiritual morals. So I started to look for a new challenge and applied for a support worker position in a homeless shelter. Getting through 2 intense interview stages successfully, I secured the job. And I tell you what, it has been the best job I've ever had in my life. It was so versatile. It allowed me to engage my mind as well as the body, as I was able to organize so many activities with residents, starting from art, as well as meditation, yoga. Also, of course, sorting out other matters, one-to-one sessions, plus dealing with challenging behaviors. But I was at my best. Then time passed, and the lives of these people made me to think about my own. Was this really it? Was that what I came to do in this world? To get up, go to work, try hard to help people where most of them just wanted to be left alone to do their own thing. And this realization came to me as a lightning. People just want to do their own thing. The truth is, nobody in a system cares about what would make people happy. Instead, they are pressurizing people to come up with some kind of solution so that they can start contributing to the society, to find a career path, climbing up the ladder, and all that bullshit. So I started to listen to my residents in a different, more efficient manner. Instead of suggesting things to people, I inspired them to be themselves. Instead of what the system wanted to make out of these people, I could see individualities, personalities, and simply human beings in their very purest form. Thoughts like these and others made me think about my own meaning of life. The life which is so damn short and so damn precious. So, in the morning of exactly 16th of March 2019, I felt an unbearable urge to talk to my diary. My head was buzzing, but it was blank in the same time. But I let my hands put down whatever came from my heart. And what came out from my heart had become alive. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have now more understanding about who I am. And if you ask me, who am I wouldn't have any other answer than I am enough.